Today in this video, we're going to be answering questions about permanent waves that you may have. So let's get started. There's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Buddha. All right, this first question has been asked a lot. The question is, when should you cut the hair when rolling a perm? From my personal experience, I would advise you to cut the hair after doing the perm procedure. And the reason for that is when you do it prior to, the ends are so blunt. Even though you've shampooed the hair, when you get to rolling, those ends are just stick straight and they don't want to conform around the rod, which means it will delay your time in rolling. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it just makes it a lot more difficult. It's a lot easier. The hair is softened and it has that curl pattern in it to cut after you've done the perm. The second most common question I've been asked is, should I take the rods out before I neutralize? I know a lot of perms will say, according to manufacturer's instructions, to take the rods out and then apply the neutralizer. But you have to think, what does neutralizer do to the hair? When you've permed the hair with the permanent waving solution, you've gone in and you've broken down the bonds and it's conforming to the rod that you've placed in the hair. Now, neutralizer comes in and it brings down the pH of the hair, and then it also locks in the curl pattern that you've put around the perm rod. So ask yourself this question. If I take the perm rods out prior to neutralizing and then I apply the neutralizer, what shape would that hair take when there's no perm rods in there? And I'm not saying this always happens. What I'm saying is, when you do this process by removing the perm rods prior to neutralizing, you're taking a gamble and a chance that there's nothing for that hair to lock in the shape of the curl so the hair can go straight. Have I ever experienced this? Not me personally, but in teaching, yes, I've had to help students where they followed the manufacturer's instructions to the T, and they took the perm rods out and then applied the neutralizer and the hair went completely straight. So that would be up to you, but I'm just letting you know there's a chance. This next question is probably one of the most famous questions, and it's even been brought up on a movie, Legally Blonde. How long does a client have to wait before they shampoo their hair after getting a permanent wave service? And the answer is, that's right, it's 48 hours at least. Why? Because if you shampoo prior to then, you will completely lose your curls. Now, does that mean the perm is actually out of your hair? No, the chemicals actually went in and permanently rearranged those bonds in your hair. However, because you shampooed too soon, you shampooed that curl pattern out. But that doesn't mean the chemicals aren't in your hair. So watch out. The next question is, what shampoos and conditioners should your clients be using at home for their upkeep? My recommendation personally, because there's bonds that's been broken down into the hair, which messes with the protein structure of the hair, and also permanent waves, because it does have ammonia in it, can be drying to the hair, is to use a good professional moisturizing shampoo and conditioner. You could even use something for curly hair if you wanted to, because curly hair is more dry, so automatically it should have more moisture in it. But I also recommend, dependent upon the condition of the hair after the perming service, that they do a once a week protein treatment. And I say once a week because you can actually overdose on protein and your hair can turn brittle and actually break off. So you never want your client to go home blind and not knowing that they should not use a protein shampoo and conditioner every single day, because their hair will break off. So moisturizing shampoo and conditioner, once a week protein treatment, also having a leave-in conditioner to use, especially before you send them off. That way the hair is conditioned and it won't dry frizzy. One of the most funny questions I used to get from students was, why do clients get perms and then get their hair blow dried out, or they'll get a roller set after? Now, usually, most commonly, the older clients will get a roller set after they get a perm. But the reason why they got the perm in the first place is to give their hair more body and to make those curls last longer. And also, if your client gets a perm and then gets her hair blow dried or his hair blow dried, the reason why they're doing that, the reason why they got the perm was to give their hair more body. So that means when you blow dry it or when you roller set it or curl it even, it's going to have more body. Now, is that more damaging to the hair? Yes, it is, especially if you're doing these treatments on your hair every single day, because a permanent wave is already drying to the hair. But this would be the reason why people get these services after they get a perm. Question number 7. Can I get a perm if I have a straight perm on my hair? Well, the answer is, if the chemical is ammonium thioglycolate, it would damage your hair, but yes, you could, because ammonium thioglycolate and ammonium thioglycolate mesh together. But if you have a sodium hydroxide relaxer on your hair, and let's say you want a soft curl perm, the answer is if I shave the hair off, or we have to wait until your hair grows out. Otherwise, the chemicals will turn into Nair, which Nair is known as a hair removal or a depilatory, and it will literally, before your eyes, melt the hair off. So there's some leeway in there. Yes, if it's the same chemical as the permanent wave, though it would be damaging, so I would not recommend it. And the answer is definitely no. If the straight perm on your client's hair is sodium hydroxide, I would not want to mix that. And honestly, I have to tell you, I'm not too keen on mixing chemicals anyway. So me personally, I would advise the client to try to wait it out. And in between times, we're doing protein treatments and we're doing moisturizing treatments to get that hair to come out healthy. Last question, but before I ask the last question, a lot of times clients are concerned when they get a permanent wave. The first thing I always hear is, I don't want to look like a poodle. So always remember this, when you're getting a permanent wave, the size of the curl is determined by the size of the rod that you use. Don't want to look like a poodle? Don't use tiny perm rods. If you want a looser curl or a bigger curl, use bigger perm rods. They have perm rods that come out this big, literally. But it also depends on the length of the hair, because remember, even though your hair may be longer, it is going to shrink up because of the curls. So if your hair is to here, you're going to be using smaller perm rods, but maybe if you want to give it more of a bump instead of a tight curl, you would use a larger perm rod. So just always remember that. So the question is, what if a client wants to get a permanent wave, but they're concerned about the perm, about the curl pattern that will come out if it'll be too curly? There's different ways that you can roll a perm that will give you different curl results. So for instance, let's say if you didn't want the curls sitting so close to the scalp, you could opt out to do a spiral perm. Spiral perm, the curls actually come out like ringlets. So then you have more of a hang in the curls and it won't be so shriveled up. And that's all I have for you guys today. I want to thank you all so much for watching my videos, for supporting my channel, and God bless you guys. I will see you next time, and I'm hoping that my things will be here so that I can demonstrate how to do a jerry curl, also known as a soft curl perm. Bye guys. Get in here, you wild buck.